afternoon, everyone. Thank you for being here today. So our class today is going to be focusing around opening the heart center, finding strength through the back body to bring in a little bit more of an energized feeling. It's also going to be very grounding as we'll be working through some balancing postures, really feeling the engagement of the abductors, the muscles on the outer hips, and stretching through the adductors, which is the muscles of the inner thighs. So we'll be feeling a lot of stabilization and mindfulness, as well as more of an energizing heart opening experience. Often when you're feeling a little bit fatigued and down, which can be quite a normal feeling to have these days in this kind of culture that we live in, where everything's always go, 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 and you feel that you've got to be overachieving all the time. You can kind of get this knock-on effect of feeling quite low and fatigued. So it can be really helpful to step away from your desk to do some stretches to really try and avert that, midday slump that we feel even more. When we feel energized, you can become more clear and focused and productive and passionate, and have more to give those around you, both in your work and in your personal life. So the good news is that positive and refreshing energy comes from within, and it's not as unattainable as you might think. One way to tap into your body's natural energy resources is to move. Exercise has been shown to improve mood, and yoga has the added benefit of bringing breath and mindfulness into our movement. So with that said, today's practice will connect with the breath, will stretch the whole body and awaken the mind, and kind of raise your vibration to clear any energy blockages within the body. So we're going to start today's class in Shavasana on the ground, if that's comfortable for you. As we do our beginning kind of centering exercise, you're more than welcome to find any position that feels comfortable in the body. So you could have the knees bent, you could even sit on a chair if you prefer. And I did forget to say, sorry, I'll say now, we'll be using a block. I did pop that in the email, but we're going to use a solid block to be standing on to explore some sensations through movement on the block. So if you don't have a block, you could use like a big, thick, chunky book to stand on, or a couple of books, as long as they feel solid and secure. But if you don't have anything, you'll still be able to join in the practice. So if you need to go off and get your block or your books, then you can come back and join us on the mat. And we'll begin by kind of noticing the points of the body that are connecting with the ground. And really notice the stability of the earth beneath you. The ground is always there, holding you and supporting you. We just tend to not be aware of it. So really take a moment to feel it. Feel the feet on the ground, where the legs maybe rest on the ground, the parts of the spine that connect with the ground, the shoulders and the back of the head. And invite in 3 deep breaths. And as you feel ready, we'll begin by bringing the right knee in towards the chest. Okay, if it's comfortable for you, extend the left leg along the ground. And we'll start by bringing a little bit of activation into this extended leg by flexing the foot as if you're pressing the foot into a wall. Okay, then we'll extend the right leg up towards the ceiling. And don't worry if it doesn't go all the way straight. And start to bring some movement into the foot, into the ankle joint. And see if you can really notice all the muscles working as you articulate the ankle joint. So we've got the muscle on the inside of the ankle, the outside of the ankle, the front and the back. Then bring the knee back in towards the chest. And just wrap the right hand around the shin so the left hand can rest anywhere. And start to open the right knee out towards the side. Okay, so one thing we kind of want to do is let it fall out. So the left hip can sometimes want to lift off the ground. So what we want to try and do is keep the buttocks on the ground, the hip points facing up, and a little bit of activation through the left leg. Okay, now see if you can pull your right knee a little bit up towards your armpit and see if you can find awareness of your pelvis and noticing how the right hip is lifted a little bit higher than the left. Okay, so the next option here is quite challenging. So I invite you to stay here exactly as you are, or you could take your peace sign fingers around your big toe on the right side and start to engage your quadricep muscles and extend through the knee. So keeping the leg out to the side, keeping that slight height and lift on the right hip, starting to extend the leg out towards the right side, any amount, and it's just an option. I always encourage you to sort of stay within, challenge yourself within your limits. Okay, then bend in the knee, bring the knee back in towards the chest, and we're going to roll all the way over onto the left hip. And we're going to use our left hand to support the head. Now slide your right hand down to your foot. So you're holding around the foot or around the ankle. And then we'll start to press the knee back and kick the foot into the hand. And notice what that does to your shoulder. So bringing your awareness all the way up to the right shoulder now. Can you notice the shoulder pulling back into retraction, creating a little bit more space across the front of the shoulder into the pec minor, into the chest in the pec major. So as you kick the foot into the hand, we're also engaging our quadriceps. So quite a lot of muscle activation on the right side. Okay, now let that soften and roll back onto the back body. And so we're going to repeat that on the other side. So you can notice how the body feels, maybe noticing the difference, if there is any, between one side and the other. And start to bring the left knee in towards the chest. And if it feels okay, you can extend the right leg and bring some activation into the right leg by flexing the foot, as if you're pressing the foot into a wall. Now holding on to the back of the left leg, start to extend the foot straight up towards the ceiling. And bring some movement into the ankle joint and go nice and slow. So we're not just wiggling the foot around, you're really starting to activate the muscles around the ankle. Build some stability there, ready for when we come into our strengthening. And we'll bend the knee, bring the knee back in towards the chest. And we're going to hold around the left leg with the left hand, so you can let the right hand rest anywhere, and start to open the knee out towards the side. So we want to keep both buttocks on the floor, try not to let the right side lift at all. And then we give a little squeeze into the leg. See if you can bring the knee a little bit closer up towards the armpit. With our awareness on the pelvis, can you notice the left hip lift a little bit higher than the right? And then as another option, it's just an option, you could take your peace sign fingers around your big toe, and keeping that height and lift of the left hip, start to engage the quadriceps, extending the knee, lengthening the hamstrings, extending the leg out to the side. And it can be any amount. Just listen to your body and only challenge yourself within your limits. Don't force. Okay, then bend the knee again, bringing the knee back in towards the chest. And we're going to roll over onto the right hip and rest the head into the right hand. And we're going to slide the left hand down towards your ankle, holding either the ankle or the foot, and start to press the knee back. So you start to kick the foot into the hand and take your awareness into your shoulder. Notice how the shoulder starts to move back into retraction. Pull the shoulder back. And then as you kick the foot into the hand, can you feel the quadriceps activate? Okay, and then slowly coming onto the back body. Bring both knees into the chest. Start to make some circles with the knees. And then slowly, in your own time, in your own way, we're going to come up to a seated position. And we'll bring the soles of the feet together. Okay, so we want to really press the soles of the feet into one another. So you can really feel the ball mound of the big toe and the little toe and the heel connecting. It might give you a little bit of a sensation of engagement through the adductor muscles on the inside of the thighs. You are welcome to take props if you have them and slide them under the knees. Okay, then from here, we're going to bring the hands to the ground just by the hips, maybe a little bit behind you. And start to draw the shoulders back towards each other. And see if this brings in a little shift into the lower back, maybe creating a bit more of an arch in the spine. So keep pulling the shoulders back towards each other. This is retraction of the scapula, if you remember that. And keep pressing the soles of the feet into one another. So we're opening up a little more through the front body and engaging the muscles and supporting the spine. Now you can stay exactly as you are, or you can start to shift the torso forwards, but we don't want to lose the engagement of the back muscles. So keep squeezing the shoulder blades towards each other and lean forwards with the heart. It's a lot harder than it sounds. So if you keep your awareness on your shoulders, if you notice they're starting to creep forwards, pull the shoulders back so you can lift the heart up. So only leaning forwards a very slight amount to keep this engagement of the back body. Now, if you feel called to do so, you could lift the hands from the floor. Keep really squeezing the shoulders back, creating a lot of heat in the muscles of the back body, especially between the shoulder blades, the rhomboids muscle, which gets very underused. And then release. Okay, we'll take the right leg, we're going to slide it out to the side and bring the left foot in a little bit closer towards the body. Now we want to activate this right leg by flexing the foot as if you're pressing the foot into a wall. And then bring the hands down to the ground. and lift the heart up, pull the shoulders back. Okay, so if you can't do that with the hands in front of you, if it makes the shoulders a little bit more rounded, bring the hands behind you. So that helps to retract the scapula, pull the shoulders back, and engage the rhomboid muscle. So you might already be feeling quite a sensation of stretch in the adductor muscles. Okay, so work within your own range of motion here. If you feel that you can and you're able to, without kind of losing the engagement of your right leg and your back muscles, you can start to lean forwards. Perhaps floating the hands up away from the ground, pulling the shoulders back. Okay, then we're going to take the right hand across towards the left knee. Doesn't have to rest on the knee, it could rest on the ground. Now the left hand's going to move behind the back as you start to turn the heart towards the left side. And then more importantly, focus on your left shoulder, pull it back. So maybe you lift it up first, roll it up and back. Invite a breath in here. Bring your awareness back to your right leg. If it's starting to go all relaxed and soft, you flex the foot. Then reach the left hand up. Invite the breath in. And as you breathe out, start to lean across to the the right foot. Come back to the center now. Bring both soles of the feet back together. Pressing the soles of the feet into one another. Can you feel the difference in your insides of your legs, your adductor muscles, maybe the abductor muscles on the outside of the hip? And then we'll stretch out the left leg, bring the right foot in a little bit closer towards the body. So activating the left leg by flexing the foot. Bringing the hands either in front or behind, but draw the shoulders back. Expand through the heart space. Okay, if you're already feeling a deep sensation in the inside of the leg, you stay exactly as you are, working on the strength of the back body, or you may start to lean forwards. Keep squeezing the shoulders back. Maybe the hands float from the ground. That's good. As we come back, release the arms. Bring the left hand across towards the right knee, taking the right hand behind the back. And from here, bringing this awareness to our right shoulder, lift it up and back, retract the scapula, start to turn the heart towards the right side. Invite the breath in. Bring your awareness to your leg, your left leg, making sure the activation's still there through the leg. Flex the foot. And you can lift the right hand away from the ground as you breathe in. And breathing out, leaning over towards the left toes. Okay, then bring the soles of the feet back together. Press the feet into one another, feeling that connection of the ball mound of the big toe and the little toe and the heel. Stay for a breath. And then as you're ready, making your way onto your hands and knees. So let's feel the ground beneath the hands, beneath the knees, beneath the feet. Draw in a little through the center to support the lower back. Now I invite you to extend the right leg back. Slightly internally rotate the back leg. So the inside of your leg, your adductor muscles, are going to roll in and up towards the ceiling. So All 5 toes face the ground. Okay, then start to get light on your left hand, coming up onto your fingertips. And you could stay there or start to reach the arm forwards. Now we're going to start to bend the right knee, bringing the heel towards the buttocks. And reach the left arm back. And pull the left shoulder back into retraction of the scapula, as if you're going to reach around and catch your foot. Okay, if you can catch the foot, you can point the toes and catch hold of it. Okay, if you don't manage to reach the foot, just keep reaching. Okay, we're still working the same muscles here, activating the rhomboids, pulling the shoulder back into retraction. And you can slowly start to soften a little bit through the back knee. Let the knee come down. And then with the breath, start to kick the foot up. Activate your quadriceps, your glutes. Lift the foot up, kick it back. And really feel that shoulder opening. And then release. Extend both the arm and the leg. And bring the left hand down to the ground, slightly forwards of the shoulder. And we're going to start to hug the left hip in towards the midline. And notice the right hip get a little bit higher than the left. And come lighter on the right hand. And you might, if you feel a little bit unstable, want to take a slight little kickstand with the left leg by turning the toes slightly towards the left side. And then see if you can lift the right hand. Maybe bring the hand to the hip. You see if you can lift your right leg a little higher. Now we want to pull the right shoulder back, reach the arm back, start to bend the knee, and see if you can catch the foot. Okay, then start to kick the foot back, engaging the quadriceps, pulling the shoulder back into retraction, opening the front body, contracting the back body muscles. That's it, good. Release the foot, and we're going to step it all the way forwards towards the top of the mat, turning our left toes back towards the back of the mat if you adjusted them. Now we'll slowly lift the torso up and interlace the hands behind the lower back. Roll the shoulders up and then back, pinning them towards each other. Now we want to be mindful here that we don't start to lean into the lower back. So just adjust the torso so it's leaning more forwards over your front leg. And then draw the shoulders back as you start to straighten the arms, pressing the hands down towards the ground. So keep the weight of the torso forwards, drawing the shoulders back into retraction of the scapula. Notice the opening through the front body, the engagement of the muscles down the back body. And release the hands. Bring them all the way down to the ground. And you could step back to tabletop or to downward facing dog. So either to your hands and knees or tucking the toes and lifting the hips. Okay, wherever you are, if any movement is kind of called into the body, then let that happen. Let your body move. And then start to move the shoulders forwards, coming into a plank pose. It's like tuck on the tailbone. You can have the knees down in the exact same position. Press the hands down into the ground. And in your own time, in your own way, lower down to your front body. And interlace the hands behind the lower back. So keep pressing the palms towards one another. The shoulders are probably already creeping up a little bit towards the ears. So let them move up and then squeeze them back. Retract the scapula. Start to lift the heart from the ground as you slide the hands back towards the heels. Keep drawing the shoulders back. Really taking the awareness there to the shoulders. If they're drooping forwards, Can you engage the back body muscles more, the rhomboids between the scapula? Really squeeze them together. Release the hands by the lower ribs and push up to plank or tabletop. And if you're in plank, bring the knees down. Coming back to hands and knees. We'll extend the left leg this time. And firstly, awareness to your adductor muscles, the inside of the thigh. Can you roll that in and up towards the ceiling so all 5 toes face the ground? And start to get lighter on the right hand. And perhaps you can extend the right arm forwards. Draw in a little through the navel, support the spine. Now start to bend the left knee as you reach the right arm back. So if you can reach for the foot, maybe press the heel up towards the ceiling. And if you can catch the foot, you could point the toes and catch hold of the foot, but otherwise just keep reaching. Soften with the breath as you let the knee lower down a little towards the earth. And then expand through the front body, kick the foot up into the hand, kick it up, kick it back. Feel the shoulder pull back into retraction. Create that space through the front of the heart. Then slowly release. And we'll bring the right hand down to the ground. A little bit in front of the shoulder. And then hugging the right hip in towards the midline. So if you can feel a little bit of height and lift in the left hip. Start to get lighter on the left hand. Maybe bring the hand to the hip. If you need to, kick out the right foot a little to the right side like a kickstand. See if you can flex the left foot and lift it a little higher. Feel the engagement of your abductor muscles. Now start to bend the knee, heel towards the glutes, reach the hand back, see if you can catch the foot. And notice your left shoulder starts to retract, and press the foot back into the hand, creating all that space through the front body as you contract the muscles of the back body. And release the foot, step it forwards. Lift your torso up and bring the hands behind the back. Leaning the torso forwards over the front leg. Roll the shoulders up and back into retraction of the scapula. Really pull the shoulders back. Start to lengthen the arm bones. Hands towards the ground. Opening up through the heart space. And engaging the back muscles. And releasing the hands down to the ground, stepping back to tabletop or downward facing dog. Add in any movement that comes naturally into the body. Coming forwards to a plank pose. Slowly lower to the front body. And come onto your forearms. Okay, so I invite you here to start to bend the right knee. Bring the heel towards the glutes. And reach back with your right hand. So you could take the left forearm on a slight diagonal for support. Perhaps rest your head down on your hand if that feels more comfortable. So I'm going to give you a couple of options here. You can keep reaching for the foot. You could point the toes, catch hold of the foot or the ankle. Start to kick the foot back and up, pulling the right shoulder back into retraction. Now another option, you could extend the left arm forwards. And perhaps as you kick the foot back and up, you could lift the left hand and foot from the ground. and soften. Come back to your forearms. Take a breath before we do the other side. I start to bend the left knee, bringing the heel towards the glutes. And you could have the right arm on a slight diagonal. Reach the left hand back and keep reaching. Pull the shoulder back. Then maybe you can point the toes and catch the foot. Then start to press the foot back into the hand, back and up. Feel the left shoulder pull back more. Come right back into retraction, opening through the heart space. And if you'd like, you can take the option to extend the right arm forwards. And perhaps as you kick the foot back and up, you could lift the right arm and leg. And slowly release, bring the hands by the lower ribs. Press to hands and knees or to downward facing dog. Now in your own time and in your own way, start to walk towards the top of the mat. Feel the connection of the feet on the ground, really pressing down through the ball mound of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Interlace the hands behind the lower back. Let the shoulders soften so they start to move up towards the ears. And roll the shoulders back towards one another. Really activate the rhomboids, the muscle between the shoulder blades. Really squeeze them towards one another. Keep that as you start to straighten the arm bones, lifting the hands away from the lower back. So try not to sink into the elbow joints. Keep pressing the palms towards one another. So you might need a little bend in the elbows. Keep pulling the shoulders back. And bring the hands to the hips. Slowly come up to stand. Bring the arms down by the sides. Notice the foundation underneath the feet. Really pressing down there. Notice the ground underneath you. And as you breathe in, invite the arms up overhead. As we breathe out, start to bend the knees, hinge at the hips, bow forwards to bring the hands to the earth. And inhale, taking a half lift, start to lengthen through the spine. Exhale, stepping the left foot towards the back of the mat. Turn the toes on a slight diagonal so you can ground the foot down. With the front foot, keep pressing down through the ball mound of the big toe and the little toe and the heel, and bring the hands up onto the front knee. You're going to take the right hand just on the outside of the right knee and press the knee into the hand as you press the hand into the knee, and see if you can feel the line of energy through the muscles all the way from the heel up to the glutes. Okay, see if you can keep pressing down through the ball mound of the big toe, the little toe, and the outer edge of the heel. And sweep the arms up to warrior one. Feel that foundation through the front foot. Bring the hands to the heart. Press down into the front foot as you lift the back leg up into warrior three. Maybe flex the back foot and slightly internally rotate the left leg so that inside of the thigh, the adductors, roll towards the ceiling. Then step the foot back, open up to warrior two. Bringing your awareness to the right foot. You're still pressing down, ball mound of the big toe, little toe, outer edge of the heel. Can you feel that line from the heel to the glutes? Reverse the warrior, reaching the top arm, the front arm up and back. Keep pressing down through the front foot. And then bringing the hands behind the back, interlace the hands together. Roll the shoulders up and back. Start to straighten through the arm bones. Keep pulling the shoulders back and lead with the heart as you start to lean forwards. And keep pressing down through that front foot. Release the hands to the ground and turn towards the long edge of the mat. So I invite you here to bring the left hand either onto a block or onto the ground. Reach the right arm all the way up. Now start to spin the hand around the back and pull the shoulder back. So it's like your right hand is going to reach around for your left thigh and keep pulling back with the right shoulder. Now release the hand, bring it back to the ground, and take the left toes, so the foot towards the back of the mat, turning the toes on a slight diagonal. Start to bend into the knee, bringing the hips down towards the heel. So your heel might lift off the ground here. And we're going to take our extended leg, this right leg, and turn the toes up towards the ceiling. Okay, if this feels too much of a stretch on your adductor muscles, you could bring the heel forward slightly, so the leg is in more in front of the hip rather than out to the side. Okay, so see how this feels. Can you pull your left shoulder back as if you're pressing your arm into your knee, and reach the right arm out to shoulder level. Pull the shoulder back and perhaps wrap the arm around the back. And bring the hand back to the ground. I'm going to lift the hips up, turn back towards the top of the mat, and ground down through the front foot, through the right foot. Lift the back leg up. Hug the right hip in towards the midline. And roll the adductor muscles, the inner thigh of the left leg, up towards the ceiling. Now slowly come up to stand. See if you can bring the knee up towards the chest. Bring the foot to the ground. Separate the feet. Okay, with the breath in, invite the arms up. Breathing out, start to bend the knees, bow forwards. Inhale, take a half lift. And exhale, step back with the right foot. Turn the toes on a slight diagonal. Bring the hands up onto the left knee. So really press down through the ball mound of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. And bring the left hand on the outside of the left knee. Press the knee into the hand and the hand into the knee. And see if you can notice how you're pressing down slightly more on the outer edge of the heel. And let that kind of ignite the earth line all the way from the heel up to the glutes. And can you sweep the arms up, keeping that activation in the front leg. Keep pressing down through the front foot. Bring the hands to the heart, lean the torso forwards, lifting the left leg. Internally rotate, taking the adductors towards the ceiling. And step back to warrior two. Make sure you can still feel the sensation of grounding down through the front foot, igniting this earth line all the way from the heel to the glutes. Reverse the warrior. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers together. Roll the shoulders up and back. Retract the scapula. Engage the rhomboids. Open up through the front of the heart space. Keep that activation in the front leg as you start to lean forwards. Lead with the heart. And release the hands to the ground. Turning towards the long edge of the mat. Turn the toes in and the heels out. Press down through the right hand. Bring the left hand either to the hip or reaching up. Now start to pull the shoulder back. Rotate the arm around the back. So if you're reaching around for your leg, pull the shoulder back. And bring the hand back down to the ground. Turn the back toes, the right toes towards the corner of the mat. Start to bend the knee. And let the left foot start to turn up towards the ceiling, keeping the foot flexed. So your right heel might be slightly lifted from the ground. That's okay. We're going to keep grounding down through the ball mound of the big toe and the little toe, pressing the heel towards the earth. If it's a bit too much of an extension through the adductor muscles, try sliding the leg forward so it comes in front of the hip. Now, taking the right hand, I'm not mirroring you, so the right hand into the right leg, press the arm back and the knee into the arm. Then you can take the left hand, maybe reach it out to the side. Pull the left shoulder back, perhaps wrap it around the back. Bring the hand down. Start to turn back towards the top of the mat. Root down through the left foot, bringing the right leg up. Internally rotate the inside of the leg. And then bring the knee up towards the chest. And bring the foot to the ground. Take a moment to notice how you feel, where you're feeling the most sensation in the body, what that might be telling you. And we're going to take our block, if you're using one, or your books. Place it down in front of the right foot. Okay, so I'm going to do this facing you, so you can kind of see a little bit more on the screen. But we're really just exploring here. So we've done a lot of kind of engagement through the legs, a lot of leg work. And we know how it felt to be standing on the ground. So this is just kind of an exploration to see how it feels standing on a block. It is challenging and it does change your kind of proprioception of where your body is in space. So it's really just a technique to learn more about your body, to see how the foot wobbles when you're trying to balance, if you're rolling more to the outside or to the inside, where the weakness is, where the strength is. So if you fall like 10 times, try to lose that kind of frustration that you might have. It's not really about having perfect balance. It's about connecting with the body and seeing what we can learn. So we're going to take the right foot, we're going to step up onto the block and press down through the ball mound of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Okay, so if your foot is slightly bigger than mine, it doesn't matter if the toes are hanging off the block, as long as you can press down through the ball mound of the big toe, the little toe, and the heel. Or you could use 2 blocks, I guess. Okay, so once we are standing on the block, we're going to keep the left foot on the ground and notice how our hip swings out to the side. So firstly, let's hug that hip in towards the midline and notice a little bit of height and lift on the left hip. Do that a couple of times, sway it out to the side. Can you keep pressing down through the foot? Hug the hip in and out and in and out. Okay, so we're going to keep it hugged in and then lift the left knee up towards the chest. So notice where the calibrations are in the foot. We take the knee out to the side. Keep hugging the right hip in towards the midline. And come back to the center. And send the leg back. Okay, the hands could be at the heart. They could be flying out to the side. You slightly internally rotate your adductor muscles, the inside of the thigh, up towards the ceiling. Then bring the knee back up, out to the side, back in, and back. You tap the toes to the back of the mat. Come into a high lunge, sweep the arms up, draw the shoulders back. Keep pressing down through the front foot, extend into warrior three, lifting the left leg up. Hands can be forwards or back. We're still hugging in through the right hip, internally rotating on the back leg. Come back up, bring the knee in, out to the side, back in and down. Okay, so circle out the right foot. Bring the foot to the ground. Slide the block over, ready for the left foot. And kind of notice what you noticed. Just reflecting on how that felt in the body, in your legs, in your ankles, what maybe you learned. And then we're going to do the other side, and there's really an imbalance in the body. So don't expect it to be the same. I mean, it may be, but you generally find that one side's stronger, one side's not as strong. So rather than kind of judging that and being negative about that, let's just observe it, be present, and notice what you feel this side, and notice the differences. So pressing down through the foot, ball of the big toe, little toe, heel, and come on to the right toes. Let the left hip swing out to the side. Then hug it in towards the midline. See if you can find a little bit of height and lift on the right side. And swing the left hip out and in. And out. And in. Okay, keeping the hip hugged in. Bring the right knee up towards the chest. Out to the side. Back in. And back. Warrior three. Extend the back leg. Can you slightly rotate the inside of the leg up? And bring the knee forwards. Out to the side. Keep hugging the hip in. Back to the front. Back. And can you step the back toes to the back of the mat? Reach the arms up. Draw the shoulders back. Keep pressing down through the front foot as we transition back to warrior three. Hug the hip in. And does it feel more comfortable with a bent knee, a straight knee? And bring the knee back up towards the chest. Out to the side. Hug the hip in. Back to the front. Bring the foot down. Circle out the left foot. So coming back to mountain pose now, and we're going to take our block and we're going to have it, or your book, placed at the top of the mat, on the just sort of in front of the mat and off to the right side a little bit. And we'll come back to mountain pose. Reflecting on how you feel and what you observed. Now, can we keep pressing down through the right foot? Ball of the big toe, little toe, heel. Hug the hip in towards the midline and bring the left knee up. Can we take the left knee out? Keep hugging the hip in towards the midline. Then back towards the center. And sweep the leg back. Now, as we come back to our warrior three, can you take your right hand to your block or to your books? Now, hug the hip in towards the midline, noticing a little height and lift on the left leg. Now, flex the foot, bring a bit of activation into the left leg. And we're doing the opposite here. So we're going to start to roll the inside, the adductor muscles, rolling them up towards the ceiling, but not in towards the ceiling. This is out and up. Then see if you can lift the leg a little higher. So you really feel the adductors on the outer hip and on the standing hip by hugging the leg in. The adductors, the inside of the leg, are really stretching. The abductors are really working. Okay, if you're still with me, you're going to reach the left arm up, pull the shoulder back, start to bend the knee, and keep reaching as if you're going to catch your foot. Okay, so if you can point the toes, catch the foot, shoulders really pulled back here, and kick the foot back into the hand. Open up the front body. Feel the engagement of the muscles down the back body. Okay, slowly release. Roll the inside of the thigh back up towards the ceiling in internal rotation, like a warrior three. And step the foot down. Come up to stand. Shake out your right leg. Probably very tired now. Take a breath. And we'll move the block over to the left side. And feel the feet on the ground. Start to really press down through the left foot, the ball of the big toe, little toe, heel. And then we'll bring the right knee up towards the chest. Hug the hip in towards the midline. Open the knee out to the side. Back in. Send the leg back. Now we keep hugging the left hip in towards the midline as you reach back through the right leg. Bring your hand to your block. And then as you keep hugging the left hip in towards the midline, the right hip's going to open and lift. And flex the foot. You can lift the leg up a little higher. Activating our abductor muscles, lengthening our adductor muscles. Now I can reach the arm up. Start to bend the right knee and reach back. Pull the shoulder back into retraction, reaching back for the foot. Okay, if you can't reach the foot, just keep reaching back, pull the shoulder back. If you catch the foot, start to kick the foot back into the hand, opening up the front body, engaging the back body, keep hugging the hip in towards the midline. And release the foot. See if you can stay slow and in control. Roll the hip down, taking the inside of the leg up towards the ceiling, like warrior three. Step the foot forwards. And shake out your left leg. And feel the feet on the ground. Bring the hands behind the back, interlace the fingers together, roll the shoulders up and back, retract the scapula, Engage the rhomboids, lengthen the arm bones, space through the front of the heart. Invite the breath in. As you breathe out, bend the knees to hinge forwards. Keep pulling the shoulders back. And release the hands down. Stepping back to downward facing dog or tabletop. And bring the knees down. And come onto your sitting bones, extending the legs forwards. Okay, so we've done a lot of back body strengthening. We're just going to contrast that movement with allowing the back body to soften. So what could feel comfortable is to bend your knees, wrap the arms around the back of the legs, and let the head rest down. You may be more comfortable to extend the legs, maybe walk the hands towards the feet. And you might want to bring in a little bit of movement into the ankles if that feels nice. And then slowly we're going to move down onto the back body whenever you're ready. So I invite you to take up as much space as possible, to really opening out the arms if that feels comfortable, opening up that heart space, allow the energy to flow. The legs come into any position that feels comfortable for you. And invite in the breath. Noticing the vibrations of energy throughout the body. Notice the parts of the body that connect with the ground. And begin to scan through the body from the soles of the feet all the way up to the top of the head. Noticing how the body feels. Really feels quite different from when we started and during the practice. And see if there is one small shift you can make in the body to add in an extra layer of comfort. In to notice the sounds around you without any judgment, just noticing the sounds outside and inside. Feel the body as it breathes. Feel the body supported by the earth beneath you. Awareness of breathing and awareness of relaxation. And feel free to stay here for as long as you need to honor this moment of rest. May we invite peace into our bodies. May we speak words that heal and create peace. May we bring peace to our minds. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Enjoy the rest of your day.